Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world.
I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. A lot in this world you should know, and love in life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then love in life will guide you. I know that life outside is so hard. There's a lot of things that can tear you apart. I know the roads sometimes feel lonely, but remember you're not the one and only. There's always someone there to help you, a helping hand to pull you through. There's only one thing you should do: take my hand and join the Love and Life crew. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then let love and life guide you. Oh yeah.
Good evening, all, and please excuse me if I'm a little bit melancholy tonight, but this is the end of an amazing chapter in my life, and what I've done, just so you understand, is I've actually prepared a video last night that I will play in a moment, because I knew that tonight it would be just too hard to get through going through our history. It's only a 20-minute video, but it kind of sums up what Loving Life has achieved, the important people who played roles in Loving Life, and the importance of you, the Loving Life family. And I've been watching it in the side chat here, and I can see that everybody's wanting to keep in contact, and that's beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is actually play you that 20-minute video, but what I would ask you to do is to put your comments in the side chat, and or questions you might have in the side chat, and after that 20-minute video, I will copy the questions and I will then respond to them, and maybe if they impact other people who are listening, they can just respond in the side chat too. Alright, here comes that 20-minute video just to kick off this live stream. Take care, everybody. Chat to you soon.
Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Well, here in what is getting to be a fairly cold Brisbane in Queensland, it's about 2:30 in the morning. And for many years, I'm going back to even pre-COVID, Loving Life TV ran nightly live streams, just about every night of the year, at 8 p.m. Johannesburg time. And for the record, that is 4 a.m. in the morning, Brisbane time. And to run those live streams, I used to get up at 2:30 a.m. in the morning. And I was dedicated to the Loving Life family and happy to do that for all those years. Now, talking about the Loving Life family, I've got to say that the last 7 or 8 years when I've been running videos on Loving Life on YouTube initially, and then as a result of a takedown by YouTube for doing things about COVID that they didn't like, yeah, the pestilence I'm talking about, I had several channels taken down and was forced to set up my own platform, Loving Life TV. And there are some notable people that I really need to make a mention of during the period that we had Loving Life. And they include Dr. Philippe van Velbergen, a very, very competent doctor in the United Kingdom, and he became almost like my confidant for many years in the very, very early days of Loving Life. And Loving Life on YouTube incredibly hit over 100,000 subscribers in about 18 months, which is, I think, a record for any of the channels which are on YouTube at the moment covering South Africa. And of course there was one little grub who kept on trying to denigrate what we were doing, calling us fake news and stuff like that. Well, the COVID era was coming in, and guess what? Loving Life was the only one to report with integrity during that time. And all the YouTubers who survived that era, I'm talking about predating the COVID era, including the grub, they never mentioned COVID in a negative way when it came to what was actually going on. So they basically protected their own little base, I guess you could say, whereas we, Loving Life, reported without fear or favor. And as I mentioned a moment ago, we had 3 channels taken down. I'll tell you which ones they were. There was the main one, Loving Life 2020, and Loving Life Live. Now, the 2 that still remain down are Loving Life 2020 and Loving Life Live. For some reason, my big channel, Loving Life, was just suddenly magically reappearing on YouTube after having been taken down years earlier. But as I say, in the meantime, we set up Loving Life TV. And during this period, I'm talking about from 2016, I guess, somewhere around there, through to today, I've interviewed some of the most amazing people. And there are 2 live streams that in particular stand out. There was that, not a riot, but there was that huge protest in Senegal years back. And during that live stream, we had 25,000 people watching at one point in time in that video. That was while it was live. There were 25,000 people watching. That's the greatest number of people we had on Loving Life at one time. And of course, there's that video that or live stream that I had with JP. This is going on to about 2 years ago now, which has had over 1 million views. That's with an M, not a B, not a T. It's a million, over 1 million views. And very few YouTubers or people who've got social media have achieved that mark. So I'm very proud of that particular figure that we achieved. Now, getting back to Loving Life, the reason I'm putting this video out is because although the Loving Life YouTube channels will remain up, and there are two or three of them at the moment, I will put the links to them down below so that you can go and check out all the archive videos. In the main Loving Life one, there's something like 4,500 videos you can go and look at, which historically record what was going on in South Africa. And we were doing this years before anyone else was. You know, we were basically the, I guess you could say, the catalyst for many YouTubers who've started putting up their platforms and channels and started to talk about the ills of the ANC government. And I think that's fantastic. I'm very pleased that we were able to be the catalyst to get that happening. A lot of the people who got those YouTube channels used to, or initially came onto a live stream with me, and then after that they started thinking about doing their own thing, which is great. And turning now to the Loving Life family, I've got to say that we've had highs and lows, and those who've been with me from the very start will know what I'm talking about. And I've got to mention some very important people who, without their involvement, and some of them spent just about their whole day, every day, working for Loving Life, and this was on a voluntary basis. So, you know, fantastic support, fantastic team who were with me, as I say, all the way through. We had this good, solid team of people working behind the scenes. And of course, the one that, you know, stands out is Marlena de Villiers, who played a huge role in organizing the live streams. Without her, we could not have done that. And I will forever be indebted to Marlena. Lovely lady, I've met her. She's a very special friend of mine, and always will be. Then there is, of course, yeah, who can ever forget Natalie Quinn? Natalie Quinn, special lady, very special lady. When we set up Loving Life TV, and I said, look, it would be great, because it's our own platform, to have a forum. Is there someone who'd be interested in taking on that position? Warning them that it could take a fair amount of their day. And Nat Quinn put up her hand, and she's done an amazing job. Thank you, Nat Quinn. Very special lady. And of course, there have been other people who've stepped up at different times and supported the cause that we were all fighting for. And the first person who stood up was a man by the name of Rudy Geldenhuys, and for about 18 months he played a pivotal role in keeping Loving Life going during that post-COVID, or during the COVID and the early post-COVID time. But you know, you meet people who turn and change, and he decided he had had enough, and he pulled the plug on Loving Life TV. So, bye-bye, Rudy. And luckily at that time, and I think this is God in the background who was actually steering us forward through that period. We had Adrian. Adrian stood up and said, look, I'll take over Loving Life TV for you. It's too important to go down. And so he actually kept it running. And we had Gert who came forward and said, look, I will host your videos free of charge. And he did that for years. Thank you so much, Gert. Much appreciated. And there were other people who in their own small way did things for Loving Life TV. And I just want to go through the key parts, the key segments of the history of Loving Life TV, just so you understand how the whole channel becoming a platform rolled out. It started, as I say, about 7 or 8 years ago, where I put a video up, and because I know the history of South Africa intimately from a Griqua perspective, I wrote the book Children of the Mist about the Griquas, and because I know the history intimately, when I saw these videos on YouTube where you had people like Malema and Zuma at that time saying that the whites had stolen the land from the blacks, I basically put up a history lesson that showed what had actually happened, how the whites had just occupied areas where only the San and the Khoi roamed, because beyond that line, which you can literally draw on the west side of Lesotho, right up against Lesotho going down to the sea, where the rainfall is below 30 inches per year, the Zulu and the Ngoni tribes couldn't survive because their cattle didn't have enough water. So they stayed in KwaZulu-Natal. The rest of South Africa was basically open with no one, as I said, but roaming San and Khoi tribes. So I put this video up and it just went ballistic. You know, I only had about 10 subscribers at the time. And it had, in the end, I think it had close to 750,000 views, which is not bad for a first video. And when I saw that happening, I decided to just slowly put on a video a day and so on. And the subscribers just exploded. I couldn't believe it. And then came COVID. And I could smell a rat from the very start. I knew there was something very wrong going on from everything that was taking place. And I had some very, very important and interesting live stream guests, including people like Dr. Shankara Chetty, Dr. Peter McCulloch. I had obviously Dr. Philippe van Belbergen. We had that video or live stream where he showed those slides of what was happening to people's blood because of the pestilence and because of the, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the thing you cannot talk about on YouTube. Okay. And as a result of Loving Life TV, I know for a fact that millions of people decided not to take the... And when you look at the fallout of what's happened, even in recent years, and in fact just this year, regarding we probably saved hundreds of thousands of lives, and maybe not just people who would have passed away, but people who would have been disabled because of the... And I'm very proud about that, and I think this is where God saw our role in playing a key pivotal part of that with our South African audience. And let's remember that South Africa had a very, very, very small take-up rate for the... So I think that we played a big part in that. And I think that for the team who were involved, it's a huge kudos, you know, that we were able to save so many people. And of course, when COVID kind of settled down and disappeared into the dust, by then we had set up our own Loving Life TV platform, and that was going really, really well. And we continued to cover what was going on in South Africa. And at that time, quite a few newbies came onto the scene and on YouTube, and they were running channels there, and we still ran our live streams piggyback through to YouTube from Loving Life TV. And yeah, it was a very interesting period because, I realized that with my failing vision, especially post-COVID, that I couldn't keep doing this forever. So the long and the short of it is that I've spoken to Nat Quinn. We've discussed this on emails. There have been a couple of people who want to take over Loving Life TV, and I've decided unilaterally that we're going to close it down in early June. I'm doing that because Loving Life has always been my legacy, and I'm not being offered any financial reward to hand it over to these couple of people, and I'm not going to do that because I don't know where they would take it. I want Loving Life TV to be remembered for the mission that we had, and it's easy to set up a YouTube channel, but it's not so easy to set up the huge family that we had on Loving Life TV and Loving Life. And for all of those of you in the family, I just want to say thank you. Since about a year ago, when I said, look, I've got to wind down because of my vision, I've got to say that I've had thousands of emails and contacts from people from all over the world expressing concern. But let me assure you that even though my vision is very poor now, and I will be going into a community, a low vision community home, probably in the next 6 months. At the moment I'm in a transition. I had to leave the previous rental house because the guy who was renting this house, it was a huge house, by the way. I had the top floor, and he had two people renting independently down below me. So he had 3 tenants in this one very big house. And he got caught out by the Brisbane City Council because he was operating an illegal rental in a low density zone area. So they shut him down, which meant I had to leave. So I'm currently in a much smaller home. It's acceptable, very cramped. I'm downsizing. I'm actually giving furniture to neighbours and stuff like that. Great neighbours I've got here. And when I move into the community, the low vision community home, it'll be a permanent home for me. So I've got a permanent place to stay. And being in that community, they will understand, as my vision fails further, how to help me, and I'm very comfortable with that. I mean, I've had an amazing life, and this Loving Life experience has been one of the pivotal moments of my life. It's one of the things I'm proudest of, and specifically about how we had the integrity during the COVID era, while very few others did. So that's where it is, guys. Loving Life TV will close down in about a week's time, and that means it'll go off air. It won't be on the web anymore. There are some financial costs that Nat mainly has been looking after, and I've just said, no, that's not on. We're not going to do that, because it's played its part in history, and I'm sure a lot of people will remember that and you know, agree that that's was probably its key role during the pestilence. And I will continue to watch what's going on in South Africa. There are a lot of people now doing what I started doing many years ago. I'm passing the torch, and it's great to see that the voice of the centre-right, not the extremists, the centre-right, in other words, people who believe that the national identity is important, the culture of people is important, and it shouldn't be trodden on by authoritarian governments like the ANC. It's great to see that these people are coming out the woodwork and making their voices heard. And I'm talking about all races doing this now, which is fabulous. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. As I said, links to the 3 surviving Loving Life YouTube channels will be below this video, and I will post this video on one of the newer Loving Life channels, which we used to do live streams on, just as a record on YouTube as well. Take care. Have a great day. If I don't see you through the week, as I used to say on taxi, I'll see you through the window. Bye for now.
Alright guys, that's the video that I recorded last night. As I said, it was 2:30 in the morning when I recorded it. I do have a problem. That problem is that my body still wakes up at 2:30 in the morning. After all these years, it said, okay, this is now the daily cycle. So I more than often I'm up at 2:30, which is 6:30 p.m. Johannesburg time, and I go to bed at about 6 p.m. at night, Brisbane time, which is very early. It's the sort of time you put your young kids to bed, but it is what it is. All right, I'm just going to address the side chat. Firstly, great to see so many people here. You know, when you consider how long Loving Life has been, I guess you could say, silent, nothing's been happening, because I've had these issues with the move. Oh, you don't want to know. Believe me, you don't want to know, especially when you've got vision issues. But anyway, but you know, to see over 70 people on YouTube and a few hundred on Loving Life TV, that's a great turnout, and I really appreciate it. And I will miss you all. Don't forget that we have a Facebook page where you can contact other people. Most people who are on right now are on our Facebook page, so you can keep in contact there. And we do have WhatsApp groups as well. And Nat Quinn can probably help you join those WhatsApp groups, which are very active. And I just want to close off by saying, I'm sorry, I'm just checking some of the comments in the side chat. I just want to close off by just saying that nothing in life stays the same. That's a great truth I've learned as someone who is now in his 70s. And I'll give you a few examples. Take, for example, the city of Johannesburg. Think about it. Consider what it used to look like in the 1970s and what it looks like today. Nothing in life stays the same. More personally, when you go to the bathroom, look in the mirror and think back to when you were a teenager. I bet you don't look the same. And finally, probably the most impactful thing that's happened in the lives of everybody on Earth today. Consider that before 1994, there was no internet. There was no internet. That was just over 30 years ago. That's how dramatically life has changed with the internet. And it's through the internet we've been able to communicate here on Loving Life TV. Alright guys, I'm getting a bit teary, so I'm going to shut down this live stream now, but what I am going to do is I'm going to pull up, hang on, I need my magnifying glass. Okay, I'm just going to pull up a theme song to close off the live stream. Okay. Now, I've got a choice here. Let me see. Which one are we going to shut down with? I don't have Malema. I think this one. It's a lovely song. It's Ons vir jou Suid-Afrika. And just know that even though I'll be in some community home with other people who've got my affliction, I will be thinking of you. I love you all, and I will miss you all. Goodbye.
Uit die blou van ons hemel, uit die diepte van ons see, hoor ons ver verlate vlaktes waar die kranse antwoord gee. Ons sal antwoord op jou roepstem, ons sal offer wat jy vra. Ons sal lewe, ons sal sterwe, ons vir jou Suid-Afrika. Ek wil antwoord op jou roepstem, maar nie offer wat jy vra. Das bloed op die plase van boere wat hulp vra. S'nags hoor jy die sirenes, maar jy kyk ander pad. Niks daarvan op TV, net soms in die koerant. Daar's kieme in die water, Eskom gee beerdkrag. Rioolstank in die strate, daar's 'n oorlog wat wag. Gery maar op ons paaie, mense maak net wat hulle wil. Arm blankes in kampe, maar jy bly liewer stil. Jy het gehoop dit sal verbeter, jy het gehoop iemand sou leer, maar is 20 jare later en die beursies is leeg. Studente gooi met klippe, die skole lê plat geveeg. Ek sien rye huisies, geverf in pink en blou. Regstellende aksie het alles hier verbrou. Maar gate in die paaie, bring so streng nie van stryk. Die volk word brandarm en die ANC word ryk. Blou van ons hemel, uit die diepte van ons see, hoor ons ver verlate vlaktes waar die kranse antwoord gee. Ons sal antwoord op jou roepstem, ons sal offer wat jy vra. Ons sal lewe, ons sal sterwe, ons vir jou Suid-Afrika.